I wanted to take us to the book of Genesis, but I'm out of time. To show you how civilization began to evolve after the fall. To show you the impact of the efforts of Cain and the race of Cain that emerged. When we take it from 4, I'll take you through 5, chapter 6. Then I will show you what happened in chapter 6. I'll show you the effect of what happened. And how that the Spirit in chapter 6 now says, I will never strive with man forever, because he has become flesh. His days shall be 120 years. There were 2 races, the race of Cain and the race of Seth. The race of Cain built a city, a civilization, which in the New Testament is called the world. The race of Cain mingled the seed of man and produced violence. Because most of you will not know that God never created a wild animal. God never created a carnivorous animal. Most of you will not know that. And that's what I don't have time to show you. But the violence that came was because of a trespass that was committed in Genesis chapter 6. The effect of that trespass was violence. That is what we see in our generation. It has its roots in an ancient trespass. And the reason why it is intense is because that trespass has been sustained till this time. So when the descendants of Cain and the race of Cain were exploring all those abominations that were trespasses, because there's a difference between sin, iniquity, trespass, and transgression. What they were exploring was trespass. And in trespass, there is a boundary that God sets for men. And they were violating that boundary to see what will happen. Unknown to them, every time they violated that boundary, they strengthened the cosmos. They strengthened that city that Cain pioneered and made it more capable of darkness. The second race, unfortunately, Abel did not live too long. But God restored Abel by producing Seth. And the generation of Seth, they were the ones that discovered prayer. So while the descendants of Cain were exploring corruption and abomination after abomination, because Cain had departed from the presence of God and did not want to be regulated by God anymore. So for him, I would have shown you 7 generations after Cain. And we would have done the population statistics and the demography, and you will see that the people that were not in the service of God, they had population explosion. The descendants of Seth, they discovered prayer. And that was a lineage that Noah came from. They were praying, and they were happy praying, but none of them received an answer. The first answer to prayer that ever came in the days of Noah. And I would have shown you the gap between prayers and answer. Then would have labeled all the altars that Abraham raised. Then you see the journey of prayers. Because there are 8 men in the Bible. First one was Adam. Adam's dealings was with his trees, the trees. The second one was Abel. Abel's dealing was with his sacrifice. And I'll need to tell you clearly, the reason why Abel was rearing cattle was not for eating. Because in his time, diet in his time was, what's the name again? Let me check. Was vegetarian. Diet in the days of Abel was vegetarian. So why was Abel keeping cattle? Oh, you are not with me? That is the Abel that learned priesthood. The Abel that found out that it was possible to talk to God if we sacrifice. So it was his descendants, even though he did not live long, that discovered how to communicate with heaven, even though man had fallen. So there are 2 ways you go. You either go the way of Cain and the world, or you go the way of prayer. I wanted to show you the development of the technology of prayer over the years, until Jesus came in Gethsemane. When he prayed so much that his human energy did not have the capacity to take him to the terminus of the errand of the prayer, and an angel came to strengthen him. Have you heard stories of men that angels came to strengthen to pray? Have you heard their stories? Oh, you have not heard their stories. You have not heard it. Those were the men he was talking about yesterday. Men that angels strengthen. Do you know the experience of being strengthened by an angel to pray? What I'm trying to tell you is that in the technology of prayer, what we are doing here, our ancestors had gone beyond this level in that technology. Oh, angels came to strengthen Jesus. So that is the reason why mommy was acknowledged yesterday. She saw those men with her eyes. I'm talking about a man in church, just service like this, and he begins to pray, he will levitate. Those are the men that angels strengthen to pray. This prayer is an adventure. The way astronauts explore space, that's how we are called to explore God. It's an adventure. If you are still struggling to keep afloat, you have not found the grace of prayer. Our race, what they discovered was prayer. The corrupt race of men, it was the cosmos and the darkness that came through trespass. So what I'm telling you is that prayer is not what we do, it is who we are. Can we ask the Lord to give us wings so that we can fly? A man that the same way you feel pressed to go use the toilet, that's how this man will feel pressed because of prayer. You say, okay, driver, park. It comes on him, he's pressed because that's who he is. Anything he's doing, he stops and he runs into the bush, begins to pray. And I'm talking about primitive Africa, not today, years ago, primitive. And he goes into the bush, he begins to pray. And the wind, the energy that comes out of his prayer is so intense that wild animals will be running away from the jungle, crossing the road to give him space because of the energy that he creates. That's not natural prayer, it's enhanced prayer. An angel has come to empower you. I tell you the truth, the darkness that is in our cities and nations, this prayer will not bring it down. God will need to choose from among us men that he will send help to. A man fasting and praying on a mountain, and then a snake strayed and crawled over his back. When the snake managed to come this way, he dried up and died. The energy was high. People that they bring dead people and put behind the crusade crowd, and as his ministry, they are rising. As he's preaching, they are rising. As he's preaching, they are rising. They are taking their bags. As he's preaching. Those were the men that explored higher technologies in this way of prayer. What God said that will come and tell us today is that the door is open for our generation to explore higher technologies in the ways of prayer, because prayer is not what we do, prayer is who we are. Can you rise on your